Hello and welcome to today's video on cell organelles. So what we're going to be discussing today are various types of organelles that you'll find within the eukaryotic cells, as well as which ones are unique to plants and animals. Now this one might be a little bit longer than usual, but bear with me and we'll go ahead and get through this just fine. Let's get started. The first one we're going to talk about is the cell membrane. So, the cell membrane is found in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. It is a film that goes ahead and surrounds the outside of the cell. And its function is it controls what goes in and what goes out. So it kind of acts like a door or a bouncer, controlling what comes in and what goes out. That's the cell membrane, all right. Up next is the cell wall. So the cell wall is found in only plants, bacteria, algae, and fungi. The description here is it's a rigid wall that goes ahead and surrounds the cell membrane. The function is it goes ahead and protects the cell and gives it its shape. Now, once again, this does provide a great amount of protection, but it also goes ahead and limits movement. As you can see, most things that have a cell wall aren't normally known for their, well, movement capabilities. Up next is the cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton is found in all eukaryotic cells, both plants and animals. The description here is it's made up of proteins such as microfilaments, microtubules, and intermediate filaments. Now what this does is it goes ahead and connects the cytoplasm with the cell membrane. So this is going to be kind of the intermediate link, like a stitching, that is going to keep the cytoplasm and the cell membrane connected. And the function is it goes ahead and provides structural support and allows for some movement if needed. The nucleus. The nucleus is found only in eukaryotic cells, so plants, animals. The description here is it contains the genetic information, or the DNA. So the function is it is the control center, or the brain of the cell, that goes ahead and ultimately controls all things within it. Now inside the nucleus we have two other structures that you will need to be aware of. There is the nuclear envelope, or membrane, which is kind of like a cell membrane but specifically for the nucleus. And this is the membrane that goes ahead and surrounds the outside of the nucleus. In addition, we also have the nucleolus, which is a dark spot at the center of the nucleus that is responsible for creating ribosomes. We'll be talking about ribosomes here in a bit. So on the outside here, we have the nuclear membrane, or envelope, and then right here, we have our nucleolus. And remember, this is all found within the nucleus itself. So if you wanted another look at it, here is our nucleolus, dead smack center of the nucleus. Speaking of ribosomes, let's talk about them, shall we? So ribosomes are found in all cells, both eukaryotic and prokaryotic. The function is that they go ahead and help create protein for the cell, which can be used to create new cells and a wide variety of other things. So the description here, in eukaryotic cells, they're either found floating freely inside the cytoplasm or are attached to something known as the endoplasmic reticulum. However, in prokaryotic cells, considering prokaryotic cells do not have any membrane-bound organelles, they're just kind of floating around in the cytoplasm doing their thing. And the ribosomes can be denoted by these little red dots that you currently see all over the place here. And in this picture on the left, they are represented by these small little dots that look like tire treads on the outside of the ER, or endoplasmic reticulum. Speaking of the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER for short, it's found in all eukaryotic cells. It is a series of membranes. Now there are two varieties. You have the rough endoplasmic reticulum and the smooth. The rough ER is responsible for going ahead and transporting proteins throughout the cell, whereas the smooth ER is responsible for going ahead and carrying out lipids. So, the function. The smooth ER transports lipids, and the rough ER transports protein. So just as a friendly reminder, lipids, smooth, protein, rough. So there's a picture of the rough ER, And there is another picture of the smooth ER. So it's kind of like a conveyor belt that goes ahead and carries things throughout the cell when needed. The mitochondria. The mitochondria is responsible for going ahead and providing energy for both plant cells and animal cells. So it is a large oval organelle with a double membrane. Kind of looks like a kidney bean with a squiggle. And the function is it provides all the energy needed for the cell by converting large organic molecules into energy via the process of cellular respiration. So there is our mitochondria, and there is an actual picture of what it looks like. So mitochondria is kind of like a generator, or anything that goes ahead and supplies energy. So this is responsible for giving energy to the cell. Chloroplasts. Now chloroplasts are found only in plant cells, and, well, algae. And some photosynthetic bacteria, if you wanted to go ahead and get specific. So the description here is these are large green organelles with a single membrane. The function is they are responsible for making sugar via the process of photosynthesis, so taking in water, sunlight, and CO2 and creating sugar from that. Now this is also responsible for going ahead and giving plants their greenish color. So the chloroplast is kind of like a solar panel. It goes ahead and converts sunlight into usable energy, but these are only found in plants and other photosynthetic creatures. The Golgi apparatus, also known as the Golgi body. So these are found in all eukaryotic cells, both plants and animals. It's a series of flat membrane-bound sacs. And the function here is it goes ahead and processes proteins made by the ribosomes, packages them, and then ships them out of the cell. So simply put, the Golgi apparatus is a lot like FedEx. It's responsible for going ahead and packaging and shipping proteins and other products out of the cell. Vesicles. So a vesicle is found in all eukaryotic cells, both plants and animals. And the description is these are parts of the ER, the endoplasmic reticulum, or the Golgi body that have been pinched off. These are found inside the cytoplasm, and they are basically storage bags or boxes for proteins. So vesicles go ahead and store proteins or other products that are needed to be secreted or moved outside of the cell or to another point within the cell. Vacuoles. So vacuoles are found in all eukaryotic cells, plants and animals. The description is they are responsible for giving plant cells their shape, and in animal cells, well, they can have one or two small vacuoles, but their function is used for storing water and waste products. So in a plant cell has a gigantic vacuole. Most of the inside of a plant cell, this is just a rough rendition, this blue area would be corresponding with the vacuole. Now, it makes sense that plant cells need a large vacuole because they need to store a lot of water, whereas animal cells primarily use vacuoles for storing waste products. Lysosomes. So lysosomes are found in all eukaryotic cells, plants and animals, and they are small round organelles with a single membrane. These are digestive organelles, and their main function is to go ahead and break down molecules and eliminate waste products. It's kind of a suicide sac. What that means is if it goes ahead and absorbs something, it breaks it down into its most vital components and then attempts to rebuild it. So lysosomes, besides being digestive organelles, are also used to keep the cell clean. So it'll go ahead and take care of any waste or fix anything that isn't quite working. Centrioles. Now centrioles are found primarily in animal cells. And these are small round organelles that are used up in mitosis. So the function here is the creation of spindle fibers, which are going to help pull chromosomes apart during mitosis. Now what that means is when the cell goes through mitosis, we actually have to go ahead and separate the DNA. And these centrioles go ahead and help do that. We'll talk more about it once we actually get to mitosis and meiosis, don't worry. Just giving you a heads up. Cilia. So cilia are found only in animal cells. And these are short hair-like projections outside of the cell. Their main function is primarily used for movement. So these are going to be tiny little hairs or fingers on the outside of the cell that help it move around and attach itself to other things. So as you can see here, this top layer, it's a little hard to see, but those are all tiny hairs that go ahead and allow it to move. flagella. So once again, these are found only in animal cells. These are long whip-like structures outside of the cell that act like propellers, going ahead and propelling the cell with some movement. So these are normally found in animal cells as well as they can be found on bacteria as well. So these right here are sperm cells, and all of these tiny little tails on the back are flagella, primarily used for movement. Finally, we have the cytoplasm. Now, the cytoplasm is found in all cells, both prokaryotic and eukaryotic, and it is a jelly-like substance inside the cell that is responsible for holding all the organelles in place. That way they're kind of not just flying all over the place. Now, I understand that this video is a little bit longer than the others. I apologize for that, but we had a lot of info to go ahead and cover. So, this goes ahead and gives you a brief introduction to each organelle that we're going to be discussing, as well as where it's at and what it does. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask your instructor. They will help you out and point you in the right direction. And now that the video is over, thank you very much for your time. And until the next one, you go ahead and take care of yourself.